Raw 120-25. What can you say about this show, Raw 120-25? 4 days before Saturday night's main event, 1 week away from the Royal Rumble, and it's WrestleMania season. What can you say about Raw 120-25? Take it to the opening signature. Let's go. Had to take it old school for my veteran subscribers because we may have to tap into some 2.0 in this review. To say that this show was not worthy of a cold open teaser would be an understatement. It didn't deserve one, so it didn't get one. If you're new to the channel, salute, welcome. BC, love to have you. Come on in, smash all the things down below, the subscriptions, notifications up. Smash that up, support the channel. If you want to chuck a coffee at the channel in BC, super thanks down below as well. We'd love to have you. But there's one massive prerequisite before you join the Amplified unit. There's no BSing, no sugarcoating, no bullshit on this channel. We call everything down the middle. If it is good, we'll call it out. If it's bad, we say so. If it's great, we spend time on it, we praise it, so we get more of it. If it's ugly, we absolutely rip it, shred it, so it doesn't happen again. A show like this, as it stands right now, 4 days away from Saturday night's main event, 1.5 weeks away from Royal Rumble, and it is officially Mania season. We don't wait to the Rumble, especially with this new Netflix era. It's Mania season. Saturday night's main event, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season, and this is the show that we got last night. And unless you're about a 10-year-old fangirl or fanboying out, anybody with common sense and logic knows this was a show that belonged in the garbage before it ever hit the airwaves. That's the truth. And if you didn't watch it, and I know I got a lot of subscribers every week, I am told, BC, I don't watch the shows. If it's good, you'll tell me about it, and I'll go back and watch some of it. If it's not, thank you, BC, for saving us a couple 2-3 hours. So if you didn't see this show, and if you did see the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't, this whole card was a bunch of rematches except for a Penta match, which was a downgraded Penta versus Chad Gable match from last week, now with Butch done. Everything else, rematches. Non-stop rematches. PFC, Damage Control, Mysterio and Kofi Kingston for the past 10 plus years. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins for the past 5 to 10 years, 8 billion times. That was your main event, by the way. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, face-to-face last night. Almost forgot that one, right? Easily forgettable. 8 billion times they faced each other. 7 billion times they were tag team partners. Infinity promos together, and in 2025, the third ever Netflix Monday Night Raw, there's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Well, BC, if something epic happened, then I'm okay with it. We'll talk about it. You tell me if this was epic. Oh, man. Bayley and Nia Jax. Right? You thought I was done with all the rematches last night. No, Bayley and Nia Jax the past 5 to 10 years. That's all they've been doing is facing each other. Well, Bayley officially got moved over to Raw. They brought Nia Jax with her for 1 week, which she's been on Raw the past 3 weeks. But what a way to say welcome to Raw, Bayley, because she literally got moved. And they thought, well, what if we just continue SmackDown matches, though? Nia back just so they could set up a Nia Rhea match in 4 nights at Saturday Night's Main Event because Hunter Hearst Helmsley completely botched the timing. He thought he could juggle Royal Rumble and Saturday Night's Main Event. He couldn't. And now just days away, he's trying to like fill matches real quick. So he brought Nia over with Bayley. He just brought out Rhea real quick. They brawled. And then Rhea's like, you be Saturday Night's Main Event. Okay, and then the match was made. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. I don't know why. Jason Uso starting this with Michael Cole dancing around like a circus freak, filling in for Pat McAfee, who was at the championship game, right? His top priority is that. And then everybody just blames Corey Graves because he's just tired of always just waiting on what Pat's gonna do. And this is the new normal. 1 or 2 times, okay. This is just the new. Corey Graves has to say, does Pat have a championship game? Does Pat have to fulfill ESPN duties? Does Pat have to be somewhere else? Does Pat have a Royal Ball to be at? So Michael Cole always has to tap into it, and you saw him during the I mean, right from the beginning, I knew what type of Monday Night Raw this was going to be. So, I didn't want to give it a cold open teaser. There's nothing to give, but I wanted to just give you a rundown. If you missed this show, guys, this is literally what we got last night. Literally what we got. I'm not over embellishing. I'm not over exaggerating. I'm not putting on a shtick. I don't have a narrative or an agenda. I'm calling this show down the middle. I was live before it last night. If you were able to catch that live stream, thank you. I didn't like what I was seeing on paper, but I was optimistic. I was ready to watch it in its entirety, do my due diligence, my notes. I was hoping for the best. I did not know we'd get the worst from Raw on Netflix, and I have to now ask the question, has Raw gotten worse since it's been on Netflix? As of now, the only logical answer, the only conclusion factually that I can come to is yes. Sadly, Raw has gotten worse. It is Mania season, and it doesn't even look like they care to build toward anything Mania-wise. Royal Rumble, they're just constantly just having people go, I declare myself for the Rumble. I don't know how that's getting you excited for it. It definitely isn't for BC. Saturday night's main event just looks like a house show that's going to be televised. There's no excitement, man. It's the end of, headed toward the end of January. And I'm not excited for any of these events. I mean, even say what you want about Vincent Kennedy, by now we would start to feel it. You would see some of the story projections. You'd see the superstars that are coming in or coming back, or the stories that are unfolding, and you could start to paint the picture. Hunter's just completely lost. He's just there's 100 things he's throwing at the wall. He's changing shit. We'll go over it. You know what? Let's just go over what actually happened last night. Because I know there's still some skepticism, right? You didn't watch a show. You just heard what happened. But you're like, but things must have happened, BC, with all these rematches. Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio, Bayley and Nia Jax, and watching EO and Dakota versus PFC, Shayna Baszler and Zoe. Like big storylines must have happened after or during, right, BC? No. Not at all. Let's talk about what exactly happened on this show, and you'll see what I mean when I say this is unacceptable for a conglomerate company that's been around for 5 decades, or at least in the state that we know it. From those 80s into the 90s and the 2000s and the 10s and now the 20s, there's no way this can be the product that we are getting with 3 massive events coming up. And I'm not even including the Chamber. There's not enough coffee in the world to justify this bullshit that Hunter Helmsley is giving us. Start from the jump. Jason Uso takes 7 minutes to yeet his ass to the ring. That's what happened. He goes through the crowd. Right there, that's how we're starting the show. So again, unless you're a toddler who's freaking jumping up and down, yeeting with maybe the parents, right? Unless you're that, I mean, if you're an adult fan And this is exciting you from the jump. More power to you. Honestly, I won't even rip you for that. I mean, I wish I could lower my standards sometimes in my bar. Maybe I could be eating for 7 minutes to start this show, but I just know that is how our Monday nights are going to go. Jason Uso is yeeting through the crowd. He's in the ring and he's yeeting more. Michael Cole has turned into an artarded circus. An absolute artarded circus is what Michael Cole is. He gets up on the commentary table. He jumps off of it. He's jumping up and down, yeeting like an absolute, just a buffoon. An absolute goon. Trying to tap into like McAfee. You know how McAfee gets on the commentary table? He's like, oh, I got Michael Cole. I'm yeeting all over the place. And everybody giggles because it's Pat McAfee. So he's yeeting, and he's eating, and Michael Cole, I don't know what he's doing. Michael Cole is yeeting, I guess, and that's that's what the kids are doing, man. That's what I'm told. Boys, I'll be cool, man. We're all yeeting. And if you're new to the channel, Jey Uso is my favorite tag team, him and Jimmy, by the way. So I show Jey Uso much love and respect. My favorite tag team in the industry, Jimmy and Jason Uso. No longer a tag team, unfortunately. So, bummer for BC. But, so I love the fact that he has an opportunity to showcase his singles and all that. It doesn't hit for BC the same as when he is in that tag team. Jey Uso as a singles competitor is mid-card for BC. He just is, guys. If he's not for you, if you're yeeting along and you're yeeting him to the promised land, cool, man. I'm not going to throw any shade or anything like that to Jey Uso. I respect the guy too much. He's one half of my favorite tag team. But it doesn't connect at all as a singles competitor. Jey Uso as a hot take. I don't even give a shit in this review. I don't, guys. I've just had it. This show is so bad that if you thought there was no filter before, no. That's why we're going 2.0 status. I'm done, bro. You thought I gave no mulligans before? I'm done, bro. This can't be WrestleMania season. It's got to pick up. And so, hot take or not, Jason Uso as a singles competitor, he looks, everything about him is mid-card to PC. It doesn't connect. I don't want to see him in my main events. It just doesn't connect. Jason Uso doesn't do it. And it's going to take more than yeeting. Just like I said, Seth Rollins is going to need more than his Disney sing-along. Oh! It's going to take more than that. That's not it. So for 7 minutes, we start this show with him yeeting and Michael Cole flipping out, yeeting all over the place, as Pat McAfee would say. And I'm supposed to go, whoa, Raw's amazing. No. Gunther interrupts. And guess what they do, guys? Gunther has some words with Jey. And you know what they do? You know, my veteran subscribers, especially my channel members, you cannot be a member and not know what they do if you miss this show. They brawled. They brawled. Hunter Hearst Helmsley doesn't know what to do for stories. So he just has all of his stories, all of his characters. This is a true story. True story. This is remember the Real World? This is a true story of 7 strangers living in a house. All he does is he has his talent brawl. And he hopes that the fans just go, that's a story. I got to watch the match now. Cody and KO, all they do is brawl, leading to the Rumble. And we've seen it a few times. But all they do is brawl. Rhea and Nia, we'll get to that, brawl. Jason Uso, Gunther, brawl. It's just brawl. There's no story. There's no story. They say some words and then they brawl. Problem is when you just brawl, and you have 5 or 6 of them every single show, it gets old. And when you need that brawl, it's gone. It's meaningless. It doesn't have the same. It already feels that way. You guys know that. We have several brawls every show. They're no longer special. Look at the crowd reaction. Right? At first, Hunter was overdoing the brawl, and everyone's like, wow, what a chaotic show. And then it's every show. And now it's just like, oh, yep, here it is. Here's the brawl. Done. He ruined it. Again, say what you want about Vince, but he would save those brawls, those like huge brawls, for like a big main event at a pay-per-view, and he would wait and he would sell it there for the show. Brawl, get everybody pumped up, then you wanna see more. But because Hunter is what we call creatively bankrupt, he just goes to it. It's just brawl. That's all. He doesn't want to spend any time thinking about it. He just goes right to that because he has to film something or he has to narrate something or he has to be in the spotlight somehow, and he doesn't want to take that time. So he'll take away from the creativity. And there's enough people that are still showing up to these arenas waiting to yell, "This is awesome," at everything Hunter throws out there. It's bullshit, man. On this channel, we are not allowing it. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Why everybody else is fanboying and fangirling out, it's not going to happen. I don't care about the promotion. I don't care who's running it. If you put out trash like this, it's going to be absolutely shredded apart. Jason Uso, 7 minutes, leads to Gunther coming in. They brawl. And there's your entire first segment and a half of this show. And then we go into the first matchup of the night. Here we go, a rematch that we've seen 36 times for 10 years plus. I told you I'm almost out of coffee. Now I gotta nurse this. I gotta kind of relax on it so it can last the rest of the show. The good news is, I don't know if this is good or not, this is a one-pager, guys. My notes are one page. I always tell my veteran subscribers, if it's a 3-hour show, it should be a page per hour. 2 hours, a page per hour. 2 pages. If it's 2.5 like last night, 2.5 pages. 2.5 hours, I have 1 page of notes. That's how you know this was not good. So, it might not take us too long anyway. First matchup of the night, Rey Mysterio pins Kofi Kingston. And this is via a hold a leg down, not even a roll-up. Like Rey Mysterio, they're like rolling around the mat. Rey catches Kofi's leg over his head, so he's just like, oh, and he just holds his leg over his head, and Kofi's like, I can't get up. What do I do? I can't get up. He's like, so Rey's like, well, if you can't get up there, sit there for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, yeah, Rey wins. That's Kofi Kingston. So not only is it a rematch you've seen for 10 years plus, 36 times, bare minimum. Well, you just saw it in 2025 on the 3rd Raw on Netflix. This is a new era, man. I was feeling it during this match. And that finish, whoa, was that awesome. He held his leg over his head. He said, 1, 2, 3, bitch. BC, how is BC not enjoying this? Just enjoy wrestling. Okay, I would love to. Give me something to enjoy. I want to be captivated by wrestling, not just enjoy it, by the way. I want to be captivated. That's what made me fall in love with wrestling. I shouldn't have to just enjoy it. I don't want to just enjoy it. I enjoy ice cream, right? I enjoy a nice steak. I enjoy a walk down at the down in Miami Beach. That's what I enjoy. I want to be captivated by my shows, by my movies, by my entertainment. Captivate me. But the bare minimum I'll ask to be able to enjoy it. But they have to give us something to enjoy. Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston in 2025 with a hold a leg down 1, 2, 3 pinfall. Come on. I'll ask. Raise your bar. Don't ask BC to lower his. I'm going to ask you to raise yours. Raise them. Because we need better than this. And then after the matchup, Kofi, and this is just what Hunter does. If you lose, if I don't have you shaking hands, how about you just attack the person that just beat you, right? Because we would see it later in the night too with Drew and Seth. We see it all the time. So he just had Kofi and Xavier just beat up Rey afterwards. You got the win, but I'm going to beat you up. So this brought out LWO and minus a Zelina, I believe. I didn't see little Zelina. Maybe they don't want like Malachi or Alistair chance. I don't know. I didn't see Zelina. But LWO comes out, or at least the little tag team there. What is it? Joaquin Phoenix. Isn't that an actor? Isn't he Joaquin something? I don't even know their names anymore. I don't even care. They're so irrelevant, and that's supposed to get you amplified. So the little tag team of LWO runs out for the save, and I think that was it. Kofi and Xavier ran away, but then Kofi came back, took one of them, and put him face first into the post, the outside post, and then he ran away. So it was like they ran away, then they came back, like, I'm not done yet, boom. And so this is setting up, obviously, New Day, LW. Guys, New Day, when they turned heel, it was good, right? We were all kind of like, all right, this could work. It stepped on Street Profits turning heel, so they couldn't officially do that. They're kind of tweeners. But okay, the New Day, man, this could turn into something. I hope they have a mega plan already in place. Don't just take this week by week. Don't wing it. Don't do something stupid that's going to kill the momentum. Guys, here we are a month later, and it's an LWO feud. I think what's frustrating, I almost said, like, sometimes I wish I wasn't as creative as I am, because then I could just probably watch through like rose-colored glasses like normal fans, right? And just accept everything, right? But no, I don't wish that I wasn't as creative. I'm glad I'm uber creative. Because being creative is passion, and it's loving what you do enjoy or are captivated by. It's loving that, and it's taking it to another levels, right? It's wanting to contribute. That's what creativity is. And to see WWE completely creatively bankrupt right now, it's sad, man. And I shouldn't have to drop my bar and standards and be less creative because this company chooses not to be at all. And maybe they don't have a fiber of creativity left in them. It's possible. And that's even sadder. I want to believe they just don't care right now, but at any moment they could find that spark in their passion. But I don't even know if they found that. Could they do the job? LWO, New Day. And I guess I'm supposed to, when the red light goes on and we do the amped up show featuring the Raw review, I guess I'm supposed to go, wow, Rey and Kofi put on a clinic. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. The problem is BC never, ever has done what he's supposed to do. I'm too badass. I drink too much coffee. I'm too amplified. I got massive muscles. I rock out. I don't do what I'm supposed to do. In fact, most of the time I do the opposite, just in spite. Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston. That's our first match after we yeeted for 15 minutes. If you didn't see the show, man, you guys usually thank BC for watching this for you. Well, you better be chucking coffees like you wouldn't believe in the near future, man. Saturday night's main event, maybe I could be live for that. Yeah, throw me a coffee for all that I'm enduring for you guys, man, in these damn shows. And I gotta spend the time talking about them the next day. Oh, Sami Zayn ends hour number one. That's right, we're already at the end of hour one. We yeeted for 15 minutes. We saw this Mysterio-Kofi matchup for over 2 segments, and then Sami Zayn ends hour one, declaring that he will be in the Rumble. Oh my goodness, you gotta get the Rumble now if you weren't gonna before. Sami's gonna be in it. He says he's gonna win the Rumble too. Kevin Owens comes out. Kevin Owens. Yeah, SmackDown. He's in the feud with Cody. He just shows up and reignites over 10 years of seeing Sami and Kevin together, and 10 different times we've been told this is the last time they're going to be in the ring together, guys. We promise. Kevin's out there. Now, the best part of this is he had the Winged Eagle Championship with a Bret the Hitman Hart jacket. Bret Hart. Now, of course, Bret Hart is synonymous with that Winged Eagle Championship. Hulk Hogan as well. But Bret Hart in that championship and Shawn Michaels, there's a certain group, you just kind of think of that title and you think of them. So Kevin, and that's one of his idols, obviously, and coming from Canada. And he has that Bret Hart jacket with the championship, the Winged Eagle title. I just thought that was the best part, one of the best parts of the night. Maybe the best, because there was nothing else. But Owens out there is just strange. He tells Sami that he believes in him and he's going to win the Rumble. And then he says they can go on to finally do what they've always wanted. Main event, a WrestleMania one-on-one for the title. And he's like, the real title, the Winged Eagle. And then he says, I have your back, Sami, just like I know you'll have mine when I need it. And he walks off, and Sami's like, huh? What does that mean? That was it, guys. Guys, that's what happened, man. It just ended with Kevin saying, I have your back, and I know when I need it, you'll have mine, Sami, because we're buddies. And I guess just like that, we have a Sami-Kevin type of storyline, or at least the underlining to an overall storyline. Seen everything. We've seen these guys wrestle each other 1,000 times. We've seen them fight each other 2,000 times. We've seen them be a tag team. We've seen them win tag titles together at Mania. We've seen everything. Promos 9 billion gazillion times. And this is Netflix. Third ever Raw on Netflix. It's a new year. It's a new era. It's 2025. And there's Kevin and Sami. And you guys are wondering why it's not just BC. There's a lot of fans that are like, is this the best that we could be getting right now? Is this the best creative? Is this the storylines we're so captivated by? Well, I can't wait to see if Sami has Kevin's back in the future. It's so frustrating, dude. Hour number 2. And at this point, BC's like, you can't get this show over fast enough. But they tried their hardest to make it even worse, segment by segment. Bayley comes out. Bayley is the new addition to Raw, officially. So who's her first opponent on Raw? SmackDown's Nia Jax. Well, basically, I know I didn't see the show, but maybe you're mistaken. What are you talking about? You just said Bayley is the new addition to Raw, and they wanted to utilize her and show everybody that she's new to Raw. This is her big welcoming. And you're telling me her first match was with Nia Jax from SmackDown? That's what I said. Absolutely, I said that. No stuttering. This is Hunter's Creative. This is WWE, man. This is what we're all fanboying and fangirling out over, right? We're cooking, right? Creatively, we are cooking. Nia Jax is over here again. So Bayley, who moved to Raw, is taking on Nia Jax, who was on SmackDown. I just put in my notes, WTF. That's all I put. I'm like, listen, when we record in a few hours, I'll try to elaborate. I just put WTF. I was just so puzzled when it was happening. I'm more puzzled now, even trying to comprehend it. If you're wondering if anybody cares, Bayley was squashed literally by Jax. Jax pins Bayley via bonsai ass splash pinfall. And Bayley was just like, I mean, we just saw this on SmackDown a few months ago, by the way. I know I've said that they faced each other 100 times. But recently, I was just watching Bayley getting squashed. So, I mean, this is like literally just repetitive to a nauseating level. And what an introduction for Bebe, by the way. This is how you bring Bebe to Raw. You just bring another SmackDown talent for a week. You have Bayley get squashed just to get to your Saturday night's main event match. So you just used Bayley. Forgot to even mention that Roxy was front row. And it does nothing. Does nothing. Bayley shows up to NXT, takes out Roxy. Roxy shows up to Friday Night SmackDown with Bayley's match against Tiffany Stratton. Then a couple days later on Monday night with Bayley's match against Nia. And twice in a row, Roxy's just like, I'm just here to watch the show, man. I don't want to do anything to Bayley. Because Bayley has already, asked Bayley, or Roxy has already asked Bayley to come back to NXT. So this is all just an NXT little feud they have going on with Bayley. Maybe it leaks onto, I was going to say SmackDown, but no, now it would be Raw. But I tried to tell you guys from the jump, this is going to be weird with Roxy and Bayley. It doesn't look like they have a definitive plan, and it looks like it's already haywire from the jump. This is what BC does not bullshit you guys, man. I see everything a mile ahead from where WWE is. And I just knew this was going to be weird. Roxy looks like an absolute... And she's one of my favorites. If you're new to the channel, Roxy is one of my favorites in the industry. I put Roxanne Perez. I'll always call her Roxy. Veteran subscribers, you know. Roxy I put up on a pedestal of pedestals. She looks absolutely just so bad here. Just showing up and not even caring about what Bayley did. Bayley showed up to your show, beat you up, and you're just showing up and doing absolutely nada. It's so odd, man. But that's Bayley. Bayley gets pinned, squashed by Nia on her own news show. And then Roxy and her do nothing with their story. Nothing at all. They don't even show Roxy again. Bayley just kind of rolls to the outside, knocked out, and then Rhea Ripley comes out. And Rhea and Nia, you know what they do? They brawl, right? Hunter's like, what if you come out after and you like, you just, I don't know, brawl. So they just start brawling, and then afterwards, Rhea gets on the commentary table, and she's like, me, Saturday night's main event. We go to commercial, we come back, and then Michael Cole's like, Adam Pearce has declared Saturday night's main event, Rhea versus Nia. But Nia is a SmackDown talent. She's just going for Tiffany's title. All of a sudden, I know there's a transfer window, but damn. Shut that window. Not everybody can just go through. Come on. But this is what happens when you don't plan ahead. You take on more than you can actually take in, which is Royal Rumble and Saturday night's main event, 2 in 1. You're still trying to iron out a Mania card, or at least pencil some semblance of a Mania card. And this is biting off more than Hunter could possibly chew. So now here we are days before, and he's just chucking matches randomly. They don't even make sense. It's not the same brand. They're really expanding this portal, let me tell you. But this whole thing was just so weird to see Bayley in her first official Raw match back on Raw, getting squashed by this SmackDown talent. Welcome to Raw. No advancement with the Roxy story. And then see Rhea Ripley show up and just catapult an instant match at Saturday night's main event. The whole thing was so bizarre. And then we get Penta pinning Butch. All I put in my notes is not as good as Penta Gable. I think that's what Hunter was trying to do. Like, man, everyone seemed to enjoy Gable versus Penta. What if we go out there with another good wrestler? Go out there, Butch Dunn, Butch Pete, Pete Butch Dunn. Go out there and have a good wrestling match with Penta. It's going to take more. You're not going to recapture the magic from Gable and Penta, bro. This was a downgraded version 100% from what we saw last week. There has to be a better plan for Penta. It can't just be he has wrestling matches and he's a good wrestler. You're going to have to implement storyline. I mean, at some point, or hire more creative people. But at some point, you have to give people like Penta a storyline. That's how we're truly going to get invested. You saw last night, they took the mic away already. They didn't want him to talk because last week, Pat McAfee totally made fun of him. I didn't understand half of it, but it sounded majestic. Why would you do that, man? Penta's pouring his heart out to San Jose. So they completely took the mic away. They gave him a downgraded Gable match with Butch. And that was it, man. And I guess I'm supposed to just talk about how good the match was. But you see, I don't know, man. The match was good. No, we just saw Gable. That's like seeing... That is like ordering your steak when you get to the restaurant as the appetizer and then ordering your main entree, a salad. That's like, I can't, man. I just can't. When you have big shows coming up, the best way I can put it is you want to elevate the audience suspense, right? The intrigue that we have as an audience. You have big events coming up. Saturday night's main event, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Mania season. Every week right now should just be elevating, right? Getting better and better. The ultimate climax, the big events. Instead, we when we do something good, we follow it up with something like much, much less. So, I mean, I was watching Penta and Butch, and I'm like, can we get this done with? Literally, guys, that's just what I was saying. Hot take, I know. I'm being as honest as I can with you. I was like, can we get this over, please? Is this the end of hour 2 yet? And it almost was. CM Punk ended hour number 2, thankfully. An interview with Jackie Redmond up in the nosebleeds. At first, when he was coming through the crowd, like the corridors and into the crowd, I'm like, are they just repeating the Jey Uso thing, but with CM Punk? I mean, like, this is so bad. But then I saw him with Jackie Redmond, and I actually love that. It's different, right? It's like what they used to back in the day with Mean Gene Okerlund. They would have a platform away from the ring, and that's where he would interview Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Macho Man, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, all of them. There was a separate platform. This was different. Jackie Redmond's up there in the nosebleeds, but there's a special section, and that's where she's cutting this interview with CM Punk. I actually like that. See what I mean? If you get creative, if you try new things, if it's done correctly, I love praising it. That's what I want to talk about on this channel. Not the negative, not what needs to be fixed, not the frustrating, not the absolutely bizarre and stupid. I want to talk about the good. So that was one good last night, man. There was something a little bit different. Seeing nothing big happened. It was just CM Punk having a 2-minute promo. But I do like what he said, though. He goes, talking about the Rumble and why he's not concerned with who's in it and why he's going to win. And he says, John Cena, you asked about Cena. He says, I can't see John Cena throwing me over the top rope at the Royal Rumble. I thought that was good. Then he says, Roman Reigns, he needed my help with his family business. So... not concerned with it. He needed my help. So I like what he said about Reigns. Then he says, Sami Zayn. Even Jackie Redmond was like, whoa. He says, and you ask Sami Zayn isn't even on my level. Next. He just totally disregarded Samuel Zayn. And then, of course, Hulk Hogan. He says, you can throw Hulk Hogan in the Rumble, and I toss his dusty ass over the top and kill Hulkamania once and for all. Now, hear me out on this, guys. And that was pretty much it, and then the promo was finished. Hear me out. Hulk Hogan was massively booed the last time he was out, right? What was that? The Netflix premiere, I believe. And he's heavily promoted for this Saturday night's main event. Real American Beer is the sponsor of WWE now. Hulk Hogan is the big advertiser. Right before it was Jesse Ventura last time. Now it's Hulk Hogan. So he's going to be on this show, it looks like. Hear me out. I would have Hulk Hogan like NWO status. Just have Hogan more of a heel. And I want him to interrupt like a CM Punk interview or promo. And I want Hogan to interrupt it, collect some booze, hopefully. I don't think you're going to get the same booze as last time. That was in California, very Democratic state. They're not happy with Hogan anyway. On top of what Hogan has said in the past and all of that, it was a perfect recipe. California, not happy with him. I don't know if every arena is going to be that way in every other state, but don't even take the chance. Just get those boos. And I want Hogan talking trash to Punk. Brother, don't you ever put my name in your mouth, brother. And I want CM Punk to trash him back. And I know Hogan can't go in the ring, guys. Trust me. I'm not asking for a Hogan-Punk match. Hogan can't even walk to the ring at this point, unfortunately. But, I mean, if you're going to try to hawk the beer anyway, if Hogan's going to be there and he has to cut a promo and Punk said this, and you want to try to protect Hogan and not get as many boos, and just turn him a little bit more of that heel character, have him talk trash to one of their heroes, CM Punk, that'll definitely get the boos. Then it'll be justified. And everybody wins, man. You hawk a little bit of your beer. Hogan is okay with the boos because he kind of wanted them. He was poking at Punk. And Punk can trash Hogan. Hogan can stand up to Punk. It's a little couple minutes on Saturday night's main event. No harm, no foul, and it's a cool moment. It's better than Hogan just hawking beer and backstage in a pre-record so nobody can boo, so Hunter can just kind of mute out any boos on the live crowd because it's a pre-record. It's probably what we're going to get. So, I don't know, have some fun with this, man. I would have some fun with this, dude. I'm trying, guys. It's so bad, these shows. I'm trying to put my I'm trying to just juice up these segments and make these things meaningful. Have a little bit of fun where there's no fun already there. Let's put some fun in there, man. It's pro wrestling. We all fell in love with it because it's fun, or at least it's supposed to be. This show is not fun, guys. We are just ending hour 2. What did we just go over that was fun? Yeeting with Jey Uso. Mysterio pinning Kofi and the LWO coming to his aid. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens saying, we're still friends, right? Bayley getting squashed by Nia Jax. Penta beating Butch. And Punk saying, Hulkamania, I'll throw Hulk over the top rope his dusty ass if he tried to enter the Rumble. That was it, guys. It's not exactly fun. And we're going into hour 3. There was only a half an hour in this hour. EO and Dakota Kai of Damage Control defeat Baszler and Zoe of PFC. Pure Fusion Collective, I believe is their name. EO pins Shayna Baszler via over the moonsault pinfall. This is a rematch we've seen several times, and sure enough, Baszler eats another L. So my question now is that it for Baszler, man? She looked really rough in this matchup. It looks like she's finally just kind of thrown in the towel a little bit, collect the paycheck. And I feel bad for her because she's tried for years. Vincent Kennedy, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, they just don't see a lot in her. They don't give her the time of day. And she's booked like this. And she wanted to for years to be like one of the best, and she was putting in the effort. But now it just she's just over there with jeans. She doesn't even put on a real attire anymore. She's a step slower. She's going through the motions, it looks like. And her booking sucks. And now they just have her just eating L after L, like she's been anyway for the past 6 years. But this is bad, man. So my question is that it for Baszler, guys? Is there even a chance that she can dig out of that hole that Vince and Hunter Hearst Helmsley have dug? Can she even get out of it if they try to push her correctly? Because this is sad, and this might be the moment where we go, I think Shayna, that's it, man. There's not much more you can do. They damaged her, and to the point where it looks like she's like kind of damaged, where it's like she's affected by it. It's just like, there's no purpose for it. You know, they're not giving me the time of day. Why even put in the effort? I hope that's not where we're at, but if we're not, we're almost there. Shayna Baszler is beyond an afterthought, unfortunately. So, Damage Control in a weird pinfall. I don't know. This didn't even do anything for Io and Dakota Kai. I hope I didn't say Kyrie, by the way. No, Dakota Kai. It didn't even do anything for them. You just pick up another meaningless W, right? I always say AJ Styles before he got injured. He was collecting W after W, and fans didn't realize that. His win-loss record was really good, but you didn't realize it. You didn't even think about AJ. He was an afterthought because he had no booking. So the wins meant nothing, right? You can't just go, hey, win. Yeah, win. We'll think of something. We'll give you a storyline in the future. Right now, just win. I say that in AEW for Bobby Lashley and Mercedes. Unless you attach a storyline to them, these are just meaningless victories. You could put 10 titles on Mercedes. Eventually, you're going to have to get a storyline that captivates the wrestling world. Same with Hurt Syndicate. Same with Penta. Same with Damage Control. And I don't know what they're doing with PFC either. And it's clear Hunter has no idea. Then we just went to the main event, a match that you have seen 8 billion gazillion times. I love, and I mean that sarcastically, how they were billing this as a WrestleMania rematch. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Guys, it's a rematch we have seen infinity amount of times. You have seen this over the last 10 years more than anybody would ever need or want to see. And they build it up as a WrestleMania rematch. Like, this is the first time you're seeing this match since. Or the first time that you've seen a rematch between these two. Rollins pins Mac clean by holding him down. Yep. If you didn't see the show, he just held Drew McIntyre down. Like they're wrestling, and all of a sudden, just like... Exactly. You're like, BC, did we just have a finish like that earlier in the night? Yep. Rey Mysterio just held down Kofi's leg over his head. Same thing. Kofi didn't take a move. Kofi wasn't knocked out. He wasn't sent for a loop. Kofi was just getting his leg held over his head. He's like, I can't get my shoulder up. One of them. A centimeter up. Nope. Kofi just looked like an idiot. Well, Drew McIntyre, big, muscular, badass Drew McIntyre was just held down. He wasn't knocked out. No finisher was put on. He wasn't sent for a loop. He didn't take a stinger or a dinger. He just got held down. And Drew's like, I can't get up. Get off of me. That was it. 1, 2, 3. He just held him down. Post-match, just like Rey Mysterio and Kofi. There you go. Now you guys are thinking, right? Now you're like, oh, BC, you're on to something, man. This sounds like really lame booking, like no care was put into it, and it's redundant, repetitive, recycled. Same thing, guys. Xavier and Kofi jumped Rey after Kofi lost. Same thing here. Drew just lost. And they immediately just had Drew attack Seth. So, yeah, Seth won. But don't look at Drew as a loser. He's attacking Seth. See, he's badass still. So he's beating up Seth. Sami Zayn comes to the ring for the save. At first, Sami does fend off Drew, but Drew's able to kind of get back at him a little bit. So Sami gets back in the ring to get back at Drew. But at this point, Drew already had Seth in the corner. Sami sets up Haluva kick. Drew moves Haluva kick to Seth Rollins. And then Drew just takes off. And the show ends 2.5 hours in. The show ends with Sami just looking at Seth like, dude, I'm sorry. You know it wasn't meant for you, man. You know that. I'm sorry. And Seth isn't even pissed. I mean, he is a little bit, but Seth is just looking at him like, damn it, Sami, you idiot. I didn't even feel the go back and watch. There was no tension. Seth is just kind of like, fuck, man. Damn it, Sami. That was it. It wasn't like he's going to be like, mother when I get up. And Sami's just like, sorry, man. Sorry, bro. And you know, at any moment he was going to help him up. They were going to show mutual respect, but Netflix just cut him off there at that point. They just ended everything. They ended the misery. They just cut it off, and that was it. That's your big cliffhanger, guys, WrestleMania season. Sami Zayn accidentally kicks Seth Rollins. If you're acting like that, it's just immaculate television. Again, more power to salute, respect, honestly. Because there's nothing else you can say, man. If that's your type of entertainment, you got it. And I'm not even going to play or hate. Congrats. It's not my type of entertainment. This is not my type of pro wrestling. This is not what made me fall in love with pro wrestling. This is nowhere near where it should be, nowhere near where it could be, and nowhere near the fun and the intrigue and the interest and the captivated stature that this company should be at right now. It is nowhere near it, and that's the frustrating part. This Raw sucked. This Raw on Netflix era may be the worst Raws that I have seen, possibly ever. This is bad. And I'm hoping. Habit and hope. That's why we watch, right? Habit and hope. You know what I noticed last night? While on Netflix, you can rewind matchups live. I didn't think of that. I know, PC, it's streaming. Of course you can. I didn't think of that. We've watched Raw for decades, and we never had that luxury. So, guys, I can go make a coffee. I can go do some side business. If a match completely sucks like Rey Mysterio and Kofi, I just didn't want to watch it again. And no bullshit, I watched some inauguration coverage. That was all day yesterday. Because the U.S., we got a new president in. Former president, new president. So I watched some inauguration. And when I came back, I was like, all right, I know I'm going to miss that match. I'm just going to, I'm tapping a few of my sources and see what they said about it. And I'm just going to tell you guys straight up, I didn't watch the finish or most of the match. This is what happened. Sorry, not sorry. But when I tuned back in, it picked up right where I left off. So I was like, wait, did this match not progress at all in 10 minutes? And sure enough, I was able to go back and forth live. And guys, I mean, if it completely sucks and you have Netflix, don't forget, you can just skip this bullshit. Because this is beyond skippable now. I'm not going to spend another ounce on this. You guys go and rock your Tuesdays, man. Thank you for trusting BC to be your number one source for these reviews if you do miss the shows. And if you do catch the shows and you still want to hear BC's thoughts on it, I appreciate you guys, especially my channel members. You guys keep this channel rocking and BC amped up, whether it's 2.0 status or trying to just appease the tube and really just talk in a matter-of-fact tone to try to help this company so that they don't think it's a narrative or a shtick or being over the top just to entertain, right? Let's just talk about this and let's talk about why this product sucks, what we could do to make it better. But no matter how we do these reviews, man, you guys tuning in and really wanting, we all have the same goal, right? We want pro wrestling to be great again. There you go. We'll use that motto. I think it's fitting for the era in this country anyway. We want pro wrestling to be great again. Well, we can't get that if we're not all honest that it just sucks right now. It's nowhere near where it should be. So let's come together and help. That's all we're doing. We're trying to help. We're not just ripping it because we don't like it. Nobody's hate watching it. We want it to be great. Beyond, but it has to at least be good. The majority of these shows have to at least be good. That's a starting point. Then we can go to the next level. Right now, we're not even close to that, and that's the biggest issue. So anyway, guys, that's what I got for you, man. I'm going to down the rest of this that I kept around because I didn't know how long this was going to be. But there's not enough coffee in the world for these type of shows. I'm going to go down this coffee, go get a couple more. I got a lot of business to take care of. There's going to be plenty more content coming up this week as we head toward Saturday night's main event and Royal Rumble and it's Mania season. So there's so much more to go over. Stay locked on the channel, subbed, notified, smash everything, the up. Appreciate you guys big time, man. Channel members, salute, gold, diamond status, and my 2-year plus coffee club VIP card members. Across the board, channel members, you guys are the board of directors that keeps this thing rocking. That's it. 44 dive. That's a wrap. BC in the unit. My board of directors saying deuces. Check you. Salute.